Perks of being alive. Hi, it's been a while since I did this. Welcome to Special Valentine's episode of Tea with Taylor. We're going to get into it. We're going to be talking a little bit about love and toxicity. And I'm gonna let that rock. I have two amazing friends in the community that are gonna come talk to me about this from two different points of view, very different points of view. But you're gonna love it, and we have a lot to talk about in a very short period of time. So I'm just gonna bring them on. My good Judy, Ricky Irizary. I feel like I always say it wrong, but
it's Irizary.
Okay, it'll work. Hi, and Christie Walker. Yo, little shots. See, I told you. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. I do this.
I sat in the wrong spot.
I'm sorry. No, I talked about it earlier, and I was like, I wonder if you're gonna be able to see y'all on the camera. And I had Christie test both the spots.
Oh, period.
We tested.
Also, we're all in view.
We tested.
No, we're pretty.
Yeah.
We're pretty. See all the pretty that's happening.
Okay, all right. I can see us. Cute. It's a different angle that we're working with here. I don't know.
I hope it's my good side.
All of a sudden, your sides are good.
All
of a sudden,
like she has a bad side.
all of a sudden, Facebook is not allowing us to do landscape for some reason. So it's we're looking cute. We're looking cute. We are
cute.
Oh, we're looking cute.
Yeah. So I'm going to give us a little bit of direction today. We have a game. We have choices.
There's always a
We're coming. I'm catch a wine. Brains in the background. Yeah.
Brains in the background. Off the Browns. We gonna
Brains in the
the Browns
background.
ain't gonna show up.
Who are they going to my house? Ah, shit.
Happy
Valentine's
Day.
Happy
Valentine's
Day.
Okay, this may be a dictator of my age showing, but what is Valentine's Day?
It's like Valentine's Day, but for friends.
Oh, word.
Oh, is that
Okay.
what it is?
Yeah.
I was like, do we have to have a
I thought we were protesting Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I was like, do we have to have a different
I mean,
name for
it's a
everything?
protest in that it's like your friends. It's
Ah.
like
Like, so like you can have platonic love and
Yeah.
romantic love.
Oh, I love that.
There's so much
like you
hair
don't
in
have
this
to be in a
cast.
romantic relationship.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for watching. What do you mean there's so much hair in this cast?
She's
Is they saying we bald?
I'm so
I'm
confused.
gonna
That's
guess that was
the
sarcasm.
I'm gonna guess that was sarcasm.
We've been together for a while.
We are all bald. It's great. Loving it.
I just shaved my head like
I just got my
This is like
haircut. I literally just got my haircut. Thank you guys for watching, by the way, for tuning in for a little Galentine's episode. See, I'm with it. Yeah. But as usual,
We cool. Keep
as
it
usual
in.
on T though, I'm gonna have y'all introduce yourself and your pronouns and what you do. However y'all want to do that.
Hi, my name is Ricky. My pronouns are he, him, out of drag. She, they, them, it, he. Just don't call me out my name in drag.
Peru.
And what do? I'm a local drag monster.
What do I do?
What do I do?
I'm a local drag
Come
monster
on.
and
What do I do?
makeup.
Hi, Kai.
And cosmetologist.
Makeup
And
and cosmetologist that
And
she knows because she likes it now. Y'all can be assured.
Yes,
now.
Ricky is a certified
I-
MUA.
I
Got
got
it.
it.
Oh, my mom's watching. Hi, Mama.
Hi, mama.
Oh, it's my mama bear. I love you. Thank you for watching. Happy Valentine's Day. My mother is my honorary Valentine because her birthday is February 2nd.
Oh, happy birthday.
So if I
Happy
ever
birthday.
don't get to be there for her birthday or get her something for her birthday, that was always my scapegoat. Oh, Ma, you make my Valentine.
Okay, it's good to have a built-in escape plan.
Literally built in, and because your boy been single since Click and Clack's 19s.
20.
19,
19, 20.
You are independently owned and
I am
operated.
independently owned and operated. Yes. How you doing? Oh, I like that. I like
The
that.
House of Brown. The House of Brown is different.
So, anywho, who are you?
So I'm Christy, and
This is gonna be a long episode.
my pronouns are she, her. They, them works too. If you feel like you can't tell, that's fine. I'm a banker, and I do drag sometimes, but mostly I am everybody's favorite tiny angry bald person at bingo. So
Yes.
Emphasis on the favorite.
Why yes?
Hey,
Emphasis on the favorite.
Well,
yeah.
remember that though when I see y'all out on a Saturday.
We're not supposed to have it.
No, we're not supposed to have this. They know I love them over there.
I'm glad actually you got on my red too.
Yeah.
No big deal. I was like, oh, everyone's know we're red. It's Valentine's Day.
Flag,
And,
you know,
no one's wearing red. But today we're talking about love and toxicity. I'm gonna give us a little direction, and then we're just gonna go off the cuff. We're going off the cuff. That's what we're doing. Molly is Molly's she's in all the feels. If anybody knows Molly, you know she's in the back always. She always does.
She's really mad that she forgot her time.
She's like, it's not Friday.
Yeah, she's like, first off, what are you people doing in my house?
Okay, so we have a game too. I have two games. We can do either sex trivia, sex trivia, or we can do guess that phrase, or something I like to call catch these phrases.
I like sex trivia, Christy.
I have no opinion. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, to be honest, I've been on Tea with Taylor a few times now, and every time we play a game, I'm not good at it.
That's not true.
I'm not great with current things or phrases, so let's do it.
Right, and one thing about Tea with Taylor, it's called Tea with Taylor, but you gonna leave Tea with Taylor smash. Because the last time I
didn't even have shots.
We're being classy.
We're being classy. It's Valentine's Day. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking over here so I can see the comments, but I see you. I see y'all. All right, here we go.
Right.
They're not saying much. They're watching, but they ain't saying much, y'all. So let me hear what y'all got to say about love, relationships, toxicity, all of the above. Let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to shout you out. If you got something to say, get that off your chest real quick, because it's still early. I got time. But be nice. Talk to me nice.
If you want to comment anonymous, you can just text any one of us. And
I'm gonna put you on blast. Don't text me. I'm gonna be
okay,
like, they said.
I'll keep it a secret, but he is not joking.
What you said is bullshit. Okay. It's not 8:00. We can't curse. We can't swear. Okay. Here we go.
Is that tea? Probably.
I don't know. I just made that up. I'm glad you believe me.
I did.
Okay. So the first trivia question, because tonight we're doing also Family Feud and Track Trivia. So at its team downtown tonight at 8:00. So
shameless plug.
Hosted by yours truly, King Neptune. So that's in honor of our trivia today. What are the average sex partners for a woman?
In her life, or yeah, I was gonna say, wait, is there more specifics or just like a lifetime question?
Just in a lifetime.
41.
41.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say 25.
This is very revealing. Oh Mario, hi. Kelly said, oh. Hi Mario. No, so this was I don't know if this was a specific age group, but these numbers that y'all throw out.
Wait, are we way too up?
Are we?
This is the average sex partners for a woman, according to Juju, is 9.
9
is 9.
Okay.
9 life partners.
I am so
Kelly said 12.
First time for life is boring.
I get 12, but you said 40?
I don't know.
Jesus.
Listen, I got some friends who do some things. I'm sorry.
Okay? Listen, if you're talking about the average queer person...
That's all I know.
Well, then there's that.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I think these stats are rigged.
I feel like these
rigged.
are
Shut up.
questions.
Don't say it. Pick one.
I think,
and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I do think that generally speaking, there's the queer community, especially some sub-facets within that. Some things are just a little less regulated as far as considering it to be too much or too little, you know?
Well, Kai just said the gays will be at 9 at one night at the Eagle.
I was
gonna say it, but I was gonna put us on Front Street.
And you're not.
I was gonna put us on Front Street. But
you said what you said.
8 sounds like a grind or Saturday night.
Kai. Okay, hold on. All right, let's get these questions out.
I said what needed to be
There's
said.
5.
Okay.
I said what needs to be said. All right, percentage of women who orgasm from sex alone.
I'm gonna go
21%.
10.
Oh, these are actually more close numbers. Okay. The percentage of women who orgasm from sex alone is 25%.
25%. See, because I read something. Don't ask me to cite the source because I can't fucking tell you. But I do remember I read something once that said the majority of heterosexual women actually don't orgasm.
Yeah, I thought that was wild.
Yeah. Well, there's also more specific statistics to that because, like, once they break down sex, there's penetrative sex versus
yes.
Because I think like if you go to like women that get up on penetration, it's like 13%.
Yeah, it was literally 10. It's 10%.
So like, so straight men.
So
Every
you
time.
don't.
You're gonna have to learn something.
Yeah, you have to do something else. I'm
Anything.
so sorry. Okay,
Maybe
but
we need to navigate them waters a little better. Because, like, all I'm saying is,
Or apparently watch
For some
TV.
reason-
watch Tea with
for some reason I'm thinking of multiple. Or that I'm thinking of multiple water remixes right now.
Mhm.
That didn't. I'm like, maybe it's like. I can't. Okay, the next one.
My sister already got her snorkeling girl.
She already got this logo.
She
Okay, so here's the next
one.
one. This one should be. I think this one's more common knowledge. I think you might know this one. What is the average length of an erect penis? And this is between two numbers.
6.1.
I'm gonna say
Inches.
6 and 8, 5 and 7.
It's between 5 and 7. Oh, sure. Okay, all right. Ricky can not come to
We're
play.
actually better at this
You're
than
gonna better at this than I thought. Wow.
We know our sexual
Apparently we know
education.
something.
Okay.
We know our sexual education.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm gonna know is
Kelly
this.
said 6 to 8
I'm
too,
sure.
though. Kai said 6. Okay, all right. I thought so. I thought that was more so common knowledge than not. But here we are. I was like,
I'm just proud, being a lesbian in the room. I'm just saying that was good. That was an interesting knowledge.
that was interesting, and like you were ready.
But I also think that, with that, like, not to go off topic or whatever, but it's kind of on topic with that question. I think with the average dick size, right? Like, I think we as males,
It's not
I know.
common.
I think we as
Yeah.
males sometimes don't realize that, like, the average size of a penis.
I was surprised by 5.
Because like a lot of the times, if you think about it, like what we see on social media, what we see on Twitter, what we see on porn websites, what we see from models, dancers, strippers, whatever, like it's always
Oh yeah,
long,
yeah.
girthy
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not realizing that, like, the average guy, like, you don't have to be. I don't know. We can get into a long
that's-
Wait, wait, no, this could be a whole nother episode.
We can get into a long body
The word
Gina, thanks for watching, Gina.
It's on average. Right? It's on average.
it
You
is-
take 2 million men on average.
Yeah.
That's the size.
And you can literally start to skew those results too, because literally there's like genetic differences in like man to man,
Yes,
different
yes.
areas, different regions, like
Mhm.
what their
region,
manhood
country, what your manhood
accomplishes.
what
Yeah.
it accomplishes, where it hang, where it goes.
All right, so since we're on this, the next one actually leads right into it. The next one is what percentage of penises worldwide are circumcised?
Okay.
What
This is
percentage
I'm
of
gonna give you my
penises
theory on
worldwide
circumcised penises.
are
I'm
circumcised?
gonna give you my theory.
I'm going
Aside from religious beliefs, like
Maybe 56%. I
56
feel like
circumcised or uncircumcised.
56 or 50 to 60?
56%, like 56%.
Are
Like,
circumcised.
What
I
percentage-
think it's slightly higher than half, but that's just judging by
What percentage worldwide of penises
I'm going
are
with
circumcised?
I'm gonna say world that was circumcised or uncircumcised.
I mean,
are
Are
That are
circumcised.
circumcised.
I feel like
32.
Oh, we got Jaden said 47%.
are circumcised. 32.
Kai
I'm
said
gonna go with
30%.
that. I'm
Just
gonna go with that. I'm gonna agree with my sister.
Kai said 30% from experience. I'm so dead. Shut up.
I feel
Like,
like
aside,
aside, I feel
Okay, come on, Ash.
Per?
Per. You know what?
I do feel
Yeah.
like
Welcome
I
to
feel
our
like
special edition
worldwide-
too.
Special edition, apparently.
I feel like worldwide. I think worldwide 30-something% of men are circumcised worldwide, and the reason why I feel like that is because aside from cultural/religious
Jaden, I think he's about to say what you just said.
upbringings, whatever.
Position.
It's like a lot of Americans may be circumcised, but once you step outside of America, they leave
Yep.
the dick alone.
Yep.
They leave,
Jaden
because
said that.
it's not, and
Yep.
this is not to offend any parents out there at all.
No.
Like, I feel like a lot of the world agrees with leaving the penis the fuck alone.
They do. They do.
Isn't there some nerve endings?
They
There's
do.
some
Like,
there's
yes.
nerve endings that you're
Yes.
cutting. Now, I'm not
No,
going
I
to
mean,
lie.
I don't have a penis. I'm just
There is
gonna
nerve endings.
So just for you, Jaden said,
Jaden
Jaden said it's less normalized in other countries. It's way higher in the U.S.
Yes,
Exactly.
for
what he
whatever
said.
reason. And I think personally, and we might be getting into some conspiracy, but I think the reason why a
Trying to
lot
keep
of
the American men down.
I think a lot of Americans are
Shot his
circumcised
dick
because they
off. That's
use foreskin for a lot of skin products,
Oh.
and yeah, for a lot of beauty products, a lot of high end. Yeah, look at your high end.
Uh,
Foreskin is used on a lot of facial serums, and a lot. It is, girl.
I'm gonna
It-
know your opinion on Sarah.
Jaden said
Baby
it's the
back.
Jaden said it's because of colonization, religion used it to try to keep male babies to celebrate longer. What? Celibate, baby.
Longer.
Yo.
But the thing is that
Celibate word. Okay.
from what I've
Yeah.
heard, without divulging too much personal information, from what I've heard from men who are uncircumcised, is that it's actually more sensitive when you're uncircumcised.
It is.
Well,
It is.
nerve endings.
So the answer is 30%.
It's 30%.
The answer is 30%.
30, but go on. She can't be.
I said 32.
You do. It was actually 31%, but
I'm gonna be fair.
I
I am with things. I'm just.
Well, you gonna come in clutch when we start talking about the vagina.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I'm just gonna say.
Okay, hold on. Last one. Last trivia question, then we can get into this conversation.
I want to wait for the last.
There's two true or false questions, alright? Wearing socks during sex increases your chance of an orgasm. True or false?
False.
Wearing socks?
Wearing socks during
I mean,
sex
I'm gonna say true for me, but that's because sensory
increases your
issues.
chance of an orgasm.
Wait, pause.
True or false?
I'm gonna say true because of placebo. Because of placebo effect.
Y'all, Bray in the back with all the
Listen,
answers.
Bray,
Bray in the back with all the
Why is
answers.
Bray in the back?
Why is Bray in the
You know
back?
what, Bray? You could, I mean,
You
because
want to sit in the middle?
we can't see Bray on this horrible angle.
I will wait for the people. Hi everybody, I'm here. I'm commenting on the site.
Yeah,
I'm literally
yeah.
just waiting for this
But wait,
question. I have to go
doesn't-
get ready for
doesn't the
World
middle
Clip.
hold up?
Oh, yes.
We can break up world.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I
Okay,
won't,
so,
sorry.
true or false? True or false? Christy, you said true?
I said true, but that's because sensory.
What do you think?
Contributes? What's the question?
Wearing socks during sex increases your chance of an orgasm.
What if you have a foot fetish?
Yes, true or false?
False.
It is. Oh, Jaden said true. It is true. It is true. And increases the chances by 30%. It is true.
Don't ever ask me to take my socks off. They stay in them.
I don't even like
I
it.
ain't never worn a sock.
I don't even
Rip them
like
bitches off. I will stop everything.
I don't
Take
even-
them off.
Take
them
I
off.
don't even like my feet. And then lastly, the penis is a muscle. True or false?
True.
It's an organ.
True, which makes it false. It is not a muscle.
Don't come to me about these I was a peer educator for Planned Parenthood.
Graham, so I guess I'm keeping my socks on. Graham,
Graham,
I don't think.
Graham, keep the socks on.
I don't think you have a problem.
It's like rocket.
I don't think you have a problem when it comes to that, Graham.
How
I
would
think
you know what problems Graham does and doesn't have when it comes to
Graham is
orgasm?
my award-winning friend, and I know a lot about Graham.
That's because you.
I now know why Graham don't wear socks, and I'm gonna call you all every time we on set, Graham.
Kai said it's disappointing.
When Graham's not wearing socks on set, I'm gonna say it's because he wants a better orgasm.
Goodbye, everybody.
I love you.
Bye, everybody.
The featured guest in the background, DJ Afram is watching. Hello.
Have a good night.
All right.
Right.
So we're gonna get. Thank you for joining. By the way, we're gonna get into our conversation right about now. So you're joining in at the perfect time. You missed our sex trivia question, but you might be able to come out tonight to Drag Family Feud and trivia. Ooh.
At what time? Where?
At 8 p.m. at Askew Providence.
We're gonna plug it. Let's
Plug
just
it.
all.
Plug it. You're right. Okay, so I'm gonna, like I was saying earlier, I'm just gonna let us ride off the cuff today. We're just talking. We're talking our shit, and we're gonna let it hang. Happy Valentine's Day.
That's a nice transition.
Happy Valentine's Day. So we're talking We're talking about love and relationships and toxicity, and I'm going to be coming from the point of being a single man in the queer community. We have someone who's happily engaged, and we have another one who is engaged, happily engaged as well. I was like, engaged, married? Hold on, I don't know. Long-term committed partners here. So we're getting that.
Down being a 20%.
Right? And then you're getting it from me with my socks on.
Keep getting it.
And so
With the socks on, now that we know.
with the socks on.
Now
Okay?
that we know.
So I'm gonna give us just a little bit of background, some facts, some stats, and then we're gonna go off that. There's different types of relationships that I want to just kind of run through the different types of relationships that there are. And those are romantic and friend relationships. So there's platonic, there's romantic, there's codependent, there's casual relationships, there's open and non-monogamous relationships, and then there are, the main one that we're going to be talking about today is toxic relationships.
Toxicity.
And there are a few stages of maintaining those relationships that I also am just going to run through really quickly, those topics. Those names and titles of what those maintaining stages are look like. It would be romance, is the maintaining part of a relationship. Then there gets the acclimation, where you start to get to know someone. Then there's the challenge, where there's always going to be a challenge, and that decides which way that romantic, friend, platonic relationship, toxic relationship may go. Then there's the exploration. Then there's the stability, and then there's commitment. Right on the bottom of that word salad. So there's romance, then there's acclimation, there's challenge, there's exploration, stability, and then right on the bottom there, or at the top, is commitment, depending on how you want to look at that. Because bread is on both sides. And that's the tea. Good night!
That's a joke, folks.
So, again, we're coming from 3 very different points of views. Thank you guys for watching and keeping up with us. I will be making sure to keep up with your comments, and if there's something about relationships and love and toxicity that you want to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll try to, weave you in there. But I would like to come from the point of toxicity first.
Okay, so
I'm gonna let you guys go first. But I really would love to talk about toxicity. So I'm gonna let you guys take it away. And which part of those types of relationships do you think you would know the most about? Oh, DJ everyone says lover, partner,
personal,
union.
Quick. I will just be really raw and pause. I will just be really raw and vulnerable and honest and say that in my lifetime I have very much so experienced toxic relationships. And I think that sometimes now I should probably say, since we're on a live, I should probably say that I have no experience with a heterosexual relationship at all whatsoever.
Okay.
So I can only come from my gay experience.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can only come from my gay experience, and in my gay experience, I can honestly say that that toxicity. There's a lot of toxic traits that we don't acknowledge as toxic traits because they're so normal.
And let me just say this:
normal. With the word normal, I'm so sorry. But with the word normal, I don't use that term as it's a normal thing that should be going on. I mean normal as in it happens so frequently that we just kind of turn a blind eye. We're desensitized to it.
No, but let me say this before we get deeper into the conversation, because I don't want it to look like we're badgering or we're coming from a place of hate, because we're not. We're just going to talk about toxicity from our points of views. At one point in time, I think, obviously, we were all someone's ex. At one point in time.
And I've been the toxic one.
Right, and at one point in time, we were all the problem. Okay,
yes,
so
absolutely.
I'm just going to put that out there.
You are the villain in someone's
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. So I'm going to just put that out there and just to knock off any kind of preconceived notion you might think about this conversation.
It's so funny you said that, Christie.
I just want to knock off any of those preconceived notions about this conversation. So yes, continue.
I love that you said that, Christie, because that is so true. I can actually sit here, and it's so funny because I was having a conversation with a friend last night, and I literally said to him, this particular ex, I was the toxic one. I did A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in this relationship. In G, I might have even went to Z. When I tell you I was the monster in that relationship, I did not treat that. I did not treat that individual the way he deserved to be treated. I was absolutely not. It wasn't okay.
And you know that.
But I've also been on the other side of it, where I wasn't treated the way I should be treated.
Yeah.
And to be fair, and I also think that, aside from just what we desensitize to ourselves in our own community, because, there's a lot of things, too. There's, an extra level, I think, in the queer community of, there's so many things that people don't talk about, when it comes to toxic, domestic abuse.
Period.
They're, queer couples are just as likely, if not more likely, to experience those toxic, violent aggression.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not talked about because if you're a man with a man, you're just going to punch him.
You're right. No, Graham is on the same thing in the comments. It's important to talk about toxic relationships.
Can I share something with
you?
Can I share something
with
you on that?
That's true.
On that, I was. The whole community, the gay community knows I have a partner. We're very happy.
More likely, yeah.
Before I met my current partner, I was in a very toxic relationship for almost 5 years. And there was a time where I did call law enforcement. And I promise you that the New Bedford, Massachusetts police station told me I'm at them. The New Bedford police station. The New Bedford police station told me to fight my man like a man because I'm a man and disconnected the call. So that.
No, that's T.
And I was getting dragged by my neck through 1,200 feet of an apartment.
That's
so
T.
that's what, and they told
What?
me, literally.
That's
and
T.
they told me to fight him like a man because I'm a man. So yes.
That's
yes.
Wild. That's absolutely
yes.
And there's so many things that are like, you know, even the things like, I think there's things people don't think of as toxic, but like, like let's say like you're like, again, long-term relationship, I'm engaged, which we all know. So like, if my phone goes off, I can dead look at my fiance and say, hey baby, can you check that for me?
Period.
She knows my passcode.
We love that.
You want to know what we're not scared of? We're not scared of what that text message is going to say.
Exactly. Because you're
it's so glamorized these days with like all these like, put an Apple AirPod in your partner's car. Where are they going? If you can't ask your person what they're doing and expect that the answer they're giving you is the truth, though, like then that's the red flag.
That is
like,
the red flag.
If you can't have a conversation about like, okay, here's something that's happening that you like and I don't, like that's communication.
It's you are hitting. You are hitting all the verbiage.
I've had my partner's passcode to his phone for the entire 4.5 years of our relationship, and I've never gone through his phone.
And I don't have to.
Never gone through
I can text my fiance's children for
what do you think?
all intents and purposes. Like if we need to talk about something, you know, there's nothing that's like off bounds.
So what do you think is the key to staying for a committed relationship? Because you're both kind of coming from that same.
You want the first thing?
So what's the key to staying equal and feeling independence as well?
I think
in
the
a committed relationship.
first thing that you have to do, especially as a young queer person, is the first thing you need to do is figure out what behavior you have, what you do.
You gotta take responsibility for the part you fucking play, bitch.
Because I feel like a lot of times people end up not feeling like their own person when they're in a committed relationship.
And you
for a long
lose
time.
yourself.
Yeah.
But then
I'm curious personally. I don't know if you guys want to know, but how do you keep that balance of feeling independent as well as being a partner?
I mean, my hint is one thing I'm gonna say. If you know people, like when you I'm in a long-term relationship, you're in one. Like if I go out without my partner, like if I happen to swing by a club without my fiance, I can promise you we're fine.
Yeah,
we're good.
You're not gonna argue about it.
And she had a headache. And
I could like in my
and I know you run into that
too. I do it all the time. I'm gonna get to my point. It's gonna sound weird at first, but I'm gonna get to my point.
And I want to know what you guys think about this question too.
I go out without my partner a lot, and it's not because I don't want to go out with my partner. It's because aside from having different schedules, it's that I have my social life, my partner has his social life.
Yeah.
I have my group of friends, my partner has his group of friends.
Yeah.
Our group of friends don't intertwine.
Yeah.
And for me, and in my relationship, that works for us because we have our separation, right? So while my partner can and
has...
has...
because that's okay.
That's okay. And that is okay.
Not every aspect of
needs
your
to be codependent.
Yeah.
We're going to push through that. We're going to push in that. But
that's one of those...
And I cannot tell you how many times, and some of you watching may even, I'm clocking some of you watching right now, because how many of you watching right now have pulled me aside privately and said, how come we never see your man? Are you guys okay?
And constant communication, which we keep I think we've heard the word communication
a lot.
We're going to talk about it.
I think going back to your question at hand, Taylor, is that how do you develop that, right? And I'm paraphrasing, I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly
what I
meant.
How do you form that? How does it start? I think it starts with what Christie said, but also with communication, but also knowing what it is you require from your partner, you personally, right? How can I get into a
You need to know your love language as much as you need to know the person you're loving.
Love language is so important.
And we as humans need to stop people pleasing, right? In the sense that if you are entering a partnership with somebody, if you are engaging with somebody, you're connecting with somebody, you're starting to get to know them, and then you realize that platonic relationship is now going to become romantic, then you need to realize that, wait a minute, these are my boundaries.
Yeah.
This is what I need from a partner. This is what I require, and this is what I require from you. This is what I require from me. And you need to be unapologetic about it. Not every conversation is easy. You also need to be able to sit across the table or sit across the couch from your partner and be like, hey, this is how I feel. And you need to be receptive to how your partner feels, even if they don't agree. Because you're not going to be able to sort through that shit if you're not...
Somebody said balance in the conversation.
Balance. I actually had a conversation with another friend of mine the other day about setting healthy boundaries. And if you're in a new, especially when you're in a new relationship and you're like, okay, ABC just really isn't my vibe. anything about telling that person, like, hey, listen, like, I like you, however, this doesn't work with my life.
Mm-hmm.
If anything about that conversation, if you're like, I'm scared of how they're going to react, that's the
That is
first
the
red
problem.
flag.
Yeah. And it's like when
Like,
when
you're barely dating.
You're ba- you don't be right.
And when you're dealing with boundaries,
Right.
you have to they have to be addressed
Boundaries need to
right
be
from
addressed.
Jump Street.
Yeah,
From Jump
especially
Because it's only going to get worse.
It's only gonna get worse.
You
Unless
need to address boundaries.
you need
right
to
from
address
Jump
boundaries, and you need to have boundaries. I hate using the word hate, but like I dislike, or it hurts my heart when I hear of other relationships and they tell me like, oh, we never really talked about boundaries.
Street. Yeah.
But you're in an open relationship.
But you're in an open
How are you not talking about boundaries? You're in an open relationship. How
That
the fuck
doesn't
are
make
you not
sense.
talking about
That
boundaries?
doesn't make sense.
Like,
So all of those types of relationships that are listed, platonic, romantic, codependent, casual, open,
They all
and
the same
toxic,
rules.
they all have the same rules when it comes to maintaining relationships, which was the other things that I listed: romance, affirmation, challenge, exploration, stability, and commitment. But those relationship types don't always come with these three things that I also wanted to mention, which is communication and compatibility. And it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
And I think there's also a big difference with compatibility
And that's
who's
something-
your type.
Yes.
Just because
you're a type.
sexy and you like their personality,
That's
doesn't mean
not-
you're compatible.
I think
bitch.
I'm gonna
Like-
say, think about the last 5 that were your type. Let me know how that works out.
exactly. No, but like we were talking a lot about communication, but I think compatibility plays a big role too, because you can communicate down, communicate
You could.
until you're blue in the face. But
But
if
if
you
you ain't
two are
compatible,
not
it ain't gonna
compatible,
work.
you're just not compatible. And then that doesn't make that person toxic either. I don't think it.
No, it doesn't.
That doesn't make that person.
Toxicity. We'll get to that.
No. What's the difference? What's the
What?
difference?
Repeat the question again.
So what's the difference? So if someone's not compatible with you, they're gonna appear toxic. What makes someone actually toxic?
That's communication.
knowing the difference.
You don't know what
Because,
they require. Going back to what we were talking about before, you don't know where those boundaries lie. You don't know what that person requires as a
Exactly.
an
Like,
individual.
especially right at the beginning. Like, again, right at the beginning, think about any relationship, any friendship, any job, anything you do. The beginning is always like, okay, here's who I am, here's who you are, and then how do we make those two things exist in the same place?
Yeah.
Stop thinking you can change people.
Yeah.
You can't change people.
You can't. No,
People
you can't.
are who
You
they
can't.
are.
If somebody cheated on with someone with you, then
They're
will
gonna cheat on you with somebody else.
someone
And if you're and the other thing I think we need to talk about too is that if you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody who keeps on cheating, maybe that person
It's not.
does
It's
not.
It's not built for a monogamous relationship.
Thank you. That person may not be built for a monogamous relationship. That doesn't make them a piece of shit.
No, and it doesn't make
It means
them
that
toxic.
they're not
That's-
being
yeah.
true to what they require.
I think
Yes.
that's important too, is to know the difference between like, so like I'm in a monogamous relationship.
I-
Like
I
that is
knew
my
that.
that is my vibe, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm here to yuck anyone else's yum. Like
Mhm,
my
mhm,
ethically non-monogamous people, my poly friends, like
Yeah.
y'all are doing the thing. Because to be fair,
I can
it's hard
speak from-
sometimes to manage a relationship.
It's hard.
But like
It's hard.
you know, if you know that style of relationship is more your thing, then it's just about. I think it's really about that communication. Because if I think we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, but you don't want to be monogamous, then I'm going to think you're toxic if you're out meeting new people.
Exactly.
But if you just told me from the jump, like, hey, I'm not into a committed monogamous relationship, then that sets the expectation appropriately of what we're doing here.
So you know what the difference is?
Wait, I want to speak on this a little bit.
So you know what my difference is? You know what my difference is?
Tell me.
My difference between when you communicate with someone who isn't compatible, right, and you communicate with that person intentionally and successfully, I think the difference between them being incompatible and being toxic is selfishness.
It's selfish, and that's you not.
And it's okay to be a little bit selfish,
It is okay
but
to be a little bit selfish on certain aspects, right? Like again, going back to what I said in the beginning, right? I'm just going to be very open, honest, and raw about what I experienced in my life, right? And I can only speak from my experience. My relationship, there is a sense of openness in my partnership currently today. My partner and I could never in a million years have any type of openness successfully for the almost 5 years that we've been together if there wasn't communication and boundaries. So when I first met my partner, we had many conversations about what would be acceptable for me, what would be acceptable for him, yes please, what would be acceptable for me, what would be acceptable for him, and where our boundaries lie, right? I think also with that is that if a person is telling you who they are, going back to what I said a few minutes
believe
ago,
them.
believe them.
It's like this woman.
Believe
You better
them.
quote. You better quote Miss Meyer.
How many people have you heard that you know that are like, well, I know that's what he said, but
No, that's what the fuck he said, girl. That's what the fuck he said, and what he said he meant.
And what he said he meant.
I mean he, but I mean they.
They.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
That's what the person
That's
said.
what they said.
Kai
And
said, Kai said straight men need to learn how to properly please. Oh, is that the problem? He said because these fake orgasms be too much.
Kai's going back to the
Okay,
Kai.
You're way back in the sex trivia. We're talking.
We're gonna come back to the orgasm.
We'll get back to the orgasm.
We're gonna come back. Also, I miss Kai.
Kai just said the same. I miss this energy. Y'all need to teach these NYC gays what self-love and good relationships are. Listen, we're still learning.
No, I'm gonna speak on that, Kai. Because
Yeah.
you know what it is? It's because our culture, and please, if you have a different opinion, cut me off, and that's okay.
No, absolutely, yeah.
And I feel like our culture is so focused on being young, sexy, and
Oh
single.
my god.
We're scared to commit. Bitch, commit. Because you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna get old and gray. Because I promise you, you're not gonna be 25 and 35 forever. I promise you. Look at me. I'm pushing 40, bitch. I have not been.
I rested that hill.
You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna be 25 dancing on that box for life.
No,
I thought I was gonna be 25 dancing on that box.
These are not the same knees.
These are not the same knees, girl.
Listen,
These are not the same knees.
Listen, I like to say that I got
Fine
good
color.
Neptune knees, but that's not always going to be
Give
the
it time.
case.
Yeah.
You're
You're not gonna be young forever, and I don't like that. A lot of us are so afraid of being hurt for one thing or another that we're scared to even dive in the pool of relationships. Your relationship, like, we're queer. Fuck societal norms.
Yeah.
Like, fuck societal norms. Your relationship is what the fuck you make it. So, like, you don't have to be monogamous, or you can be completely monogamous. Fucking go back into, do whatever you gotta do. If it works for you and your partner, it works for you and your partner. And stop allowing other people, whether they're a part of our queer community or not, stop allowing other people to dictate what your relationship should look like. Because it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
Like, how you go again, using my life as a perfect example. Like, I know I'm speaking very openly and honestly on a public platform right now, but like, I don't talk about my relationship. I don't talk about it at drag shows. I don't talk about it at work. Half of the time, my man is working.
People always got something to say. People
Always
have
have
something to
And
say.
I want to talk on that too, because there's a thin line, I think, when you are someone in the public eye or when you are a performer or anything of that nature. I think there's a very thin line, and I'd love to speak on that, about how much you share in order to be relatable and how much you keep private to maintain your personal relationships.
That's
and
so
there's
good.
such a thin line.
I
had someone in a relationship once tell me that, oh, well, it's not like anything is special because your whole life is on social media.
Boom.
And I said, first of all, baby, no.
I love this.
My entire life is not on social media. But if it were to be, you knew that from Jump Street, and that's something that I often struggle with, is sharing and
what to share,
private.
what not to share.
Also, don't date people who are knowingly in the performing arts in any aspect.
And then expect it.
If you know you're not a strong enough partner to stand next to someone who has a spotlight on them, that's
Don't do
okay. That's a communication. You say, listen, that's not my jam, but just don't date someone who doesn't.
And don't dull their shine because you're insecure.
Ooh, I've dealt with that too. I've dealt with that.
You don't need to, you don't need to.
Scorpio man.
Sending my love to my Scorpio
Yeah,
babes out there.
because I love
including
Scorpio
the person I'm
women.
marrying.
Listen, I dated one Scorpio. Fell in love, got the tattoo, got the t-shirt to prove it, and had to walk the fuck away. I ain't dated a Scorpio since.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Scorpio men are different.
But they,
I'm sorry, Scorpio men are built different. Prove me wrong.
Going back to that whole thing about like being in the spotlight.
Yeah, like your life performing is one thing, and then your life is another.
Somebody told me, I wish I could remember who it was, because this was one of the biggest pieces of knowledge that any older queer person at the time, I mean, they're still older than me because they were older than me back then, but like, at the time, any older person could shed on me. And I'm so glad that I took it and absorbed it, because what he said was, and I hope he identifies as he, what he said was, Ricky, you being on, this is when I started dancing, right? And I was just on social media giving my all. I'm like, if you follow me online, you know that I am very pro body positivity. Yeah. Right? Absolutely. I think that everybody should be comfortable in their own skin, and I feel confident and comfortable in expressing that in many different ways. So somebody once said, Ricky, it is okay to express yourself. It is okay to give yourself up to the community. It is okay to be there for your community. but you have to choose one thing that you keep to yourself. And in that moment, I chose my relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep that to myself. So no, you're not going to see me posting a lot of shit about my relationship. You're not going to see me posting 1,000,001 pictures about my man.
But you can trust we have it.
But I can trust. You can trust I'm going home to my man. You can trust I'm sleeping in the same bed as my man. You can trust that we have a house, we have 4 animals, we have everything we need. But that's what I keep to me.
We on insurance plans.
Right. We got bills, baby.
You have to keep some of it.
You have to have something to
yourself.
Yeah. So like, I'm gonna give you my art, which is the most personal thing that I can ever fucking think of. I'm gonna give you my art. I'm gonna give you my personality. I'm gonna give you my brain. I'm gonna give you my.
I'm gonna give you my body.
I'm gonna give you my body.
Hello.
I'm gonna give you my body, but what you're not gonna have is my love, and that's what's at home.
Right. Or
and that's what
and also, I just sidestep from that. I think there's a huge issue with like people respecting that boundary. Like
because they want it. They
Christie. You were saying exactly what I was about to say. Just like, go off.
But I'm saying, so like, you know, the thing about it is, it's like me and Rick, I would consider Ricky one of my best friends. Like, I can honestly, this is my people. This is my family. I have maybe seen your partner twice in socially, but you know what? I don't need to ask because I know she happy. They happy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing too is I think people don't respect that boundary so much because they feel so entitled to these performers and artists' lives and like you know, and unfortunately, social media does do that because like I mean. And I'm not here yucking you into young, so like whatever. But like every day, what's getting shoved down your throat is like these relationships.
Yeah.
You know what? At the end of the day,
you kind of feel like.
And I know what I say.
You feel like you need to.
But everyone's gonna know what I'm saying. But like those two people, those are just two young adults who are falling in love, just in a really public way. But like, it's not your business what's happening at my house.
Right.
None of your business.
Where do you draw the line?
So, and I think that's
where do you draw the line? That's the question.
Yeah, respect the perform. You know, respect your people who are super public images, and you know, if you know they're in a relationship, like it's not really your business to know what's happening at their house.
I want to mention what Graham said.
Stop asking me where my man is.
Don't ask that.
Stop asking me where my man is.
That's a weird.
My man is making money.
That's a weird.
My man is making money because his light bill is due.
I want to mention what Graham said.
Because the cable need to be paid. Like my dogs are hungry. We have life insurance policies.
Y'all not playing.
We have life insurance policies. Call Nolenberg.
Listen. Goals. Very, very bad. Very bad. No, but Graham said the number of actors I know who date people that are uncomfortable with them having romantic or sexual roles. Someone like that is going to limit your career, and that is not someone you should date. And that's another aspect of it. Someone who's
thank you for that, Graham.
Who's someone who again is not compatible, like we said earlier. Not just not compatible, not someone who you can classify as toxic, or you can classify as a toxic behavior.
And if you have, and as a performer, as an actor, as a drag performer, as a theater person, as
any form of
public eye, if your partner is questioning or is uncomfortable with you following a written script on camera, then there is a deeper issue. There is a deeper issue. You're incompatible. Completely, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're incompatible. And Kai said something that I often have thought too, and I kind of want to take it from. I take it from in a very lighthearted way, but it is a heavy statement that many people love the idea of dating an artist until they have the reality. So they live that reality, and that is so true. Unfortunately, and fortunately, I've experienced it. Yeah, I've experienced it, and it's okay. It's very much okay. Dating an artist means like one, you need to understand that nothing is gonna feel more to the artist. If you're dating an artist, I think we have to understand that art is going to always be the first love because, like, as an artist, and you can probably relate, and you can relate to as an artist, art is my first and hugest love. I am in love with my art. My art is going to heal me. My art is going to make me feel pain. My art is going to make me feel joy. It's going to make me feel happy. When I am depressed, I go to my art. When I am happy, I go to my art. When I am angry, I go to my art. When I don't know what the fuck to do with myself, I go to my art. I'm damn obsessed with my art. I am obsessed. It is when you're an artist.
And I think you can extend that to other things too. Like if your partner in general has something that they are passionate about, driven to do, if they have a family, if they have children,
that child
Like,
is going to be.
You just have to understand, like, people grew up with this, like, weird, glamorous idea of, like, when you're dating someone, you're their number one.
No.
And that is not.
I don't want to be.
No.
I'm not my wife's number one.
Yeah.
I am number. I
And
can
then
tell
you-
you for free, I am number 7 on that list,
Yeah.
and I know that,
And that's fine.
and that's not a bad thing.
Because that mindset
That's
will
a very
lead
healthy
you.
thing.
There's-
That mindset will lead
Very
you.
healthy thing.
That mindset will lead you into
Yeah.
unhealthy behavior, and then you get into the codependent
Yeah.
relationship.
There is literally 6 tiny human beings, and they're not all tiny, but there's 6 people that literally come in line before me. And it's not, I don't even say that in a bad way, because at the end of the day, my needs are met because my boundaries are communicated. We've talked about, you know, like, if we have to pack up a car on a Sunday and go, you know, to a kid thing, we're cool with that, but also you're going to catch us at the club on Thursday night and here.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
like, and I think that's really the difference between being toxic and being like, whatever. It's just literally saying, okay, here's what you want, here's what I want. Now, what should we be doing to, like, do that with each other versus, like, try to take each other down?
To come together.
Like, for me,
Exactly,
I think toxic
exactly.
relationship behavior is anything that in any way is
I have-
undercutting your relationship.
In
or
any
your,
way. Because you're going to end up regretting it later, and then you're going to have remorse.
Yeah. Like,
And that is not going to build a relationship
It
in the way that
builds
it builds so much
It builds
animosity.
animosity off.
I have 2 people in the I have Graham and Kaya that both are saying the same
Graham,
thing.
we're giving Graham and
Similar-
Kai a whole platform.
Yeah,
too. What's up, babies?
they're
Right.
saying the same thing pretty much, that you have to love my art too, and
Yes.
I need brutal honesty.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Kai,
absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
If I'm obsessed with something and you barely,
You don't.
and you almost
You
like
gotta be
it,
into
that's
it.
not.
You gotta understand
it's
that
not.
that's me.
We're gonna misfire every time.
You have to understand that that's me.
Yeah,
You
we're
need to
gonna misfire
understand that's me.
every
My
time.
art is me. I am my art. My
Yeah.
art. When you
Yeah.
see my
And
art,
you don't
you see
have
me.
to like it.
You don't have to
That's
like it.
the thing.
You don't have to
You
like
don't have
it.
to like
You have to respect
But
it.
that's what I think people miss, though.
Oh,
It's like, you don't
yes.
have to love it. I don't need you to love going. You know what? You all see me at a drag show.
Mhm.
I am in the second row of a drag
Mhm.
show. You hear me. I
Mhm.
love drag.
Yeah,
I love watching
Yeah.
my friends do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? That does. If my partner doesn't necessarily get the same excitement for a drag show, that's fine.
that's fun too.
She's still
yeah.
there.
That's
We're
so-
still together.
Right.
You know, and that's the other thing. It's like, you don't necessarily even have to love it, but you have to respect and
Mhm.
support what your person's doing. Like, hey, I might not want to be here till 2 a.m., but like, you want to, so like, we're gonna do it.
Here we are.
So
And that's not changing someone. That's not communication. Like, okay, little balance. Like,
so throughout this conversation too, and we're getting near to the end, surprisingly.
because we're amazing.
So throughout this conversation, there's 2 other words, and I'm loving this. I'm loving doing this. There's 2 words that I keep hearing again. Earlier, I kept hearing a lot of communication.
Mhm.
Now I'm hearing a lot of trust and respect.
Which comes from communication, though. Because
And-
you're never going to build trust or respect if you're not talking about.
But I'm wondering, and you guys can weigh in on this obviously as well. I'm wondering, for me, I'm wondering what that means to you
Trust.
as far as your relationships, trust and what was the other one?
Respect.
Trust and respect, and how you
that's tough.
inject trust and respect in everything you do.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, for me, trust in my partner knows, and in my relationship, and just in general, just
Yeah.
I know 100% that no matter what, I just know no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. And
Doesn't
that's for
matter.
me, that's what trust is.
Because I feel like injecting trust and respect and to any aspect, I think, of any relationship is necessary.
Yeah.
But how do you go about that? How do you make sure that happens?
But I don't think you can make sure it happens.
can't.
That's the problem. Like, I think you have to be willing to talk about you. You have to be willing to acknowledge when you're wrong,
Mhm.
and you have to be willing to, like, generally in relationships, you're either going to be fighting together, or you're going to be fighting against each other.
But you maintain respect.
But there's respect, right? Like, and I think that at the end of the day, I really think for me, like, trust, respect, that whole bucket, and this, for me personally, and this is my personal opinion, that applies to my romantic relationships, my platonic relationships, like my friends that are my family. Like, I know that when it comes to those people, at the end of the day, the answer is no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, do you have my back? No,
No
matter
matter
what.
what.
Do you love me? No matter
matter
what.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
you talk good about me? No matter what.
Yes.
Will you also tell me when I'm absolutely wrong?
Wrong.
No,
No
matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
That's
that.
trust
No
and
matter what.
respect.
That's
for me.
trust and respect.
And that's
Love
what I
that.
said with friends and relationships. Because
Yeah.
my friends, y'all know you are part of
Yeah.
that group. But like, my friends will tell me what's
Like,
up.
you know
No
something wrong?
matter
That's not
what.
it.
No
Like,
matter
you know something
what.
wrong? That's
I love
not
that.
it.
I absolutely
Yeah.
no matter
That's
what.
for me. It's
No
not no matter what.
Because I find myself always trying to inject trust and respect in everything that I do as well. And I realized, for instance, with my family, that it was something that I had craved for so long that I had lost respect for a lot of things and a lot of people, and I had to regain that with them in order to get that respect back. But that's not always the case in every relationship or in every type of relationship.
I think
so
also,
I wonder how other people go about navigating.
What's that
I think
saying,
also
you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yes!
Sometimes it is about knowing when to not.
Yeah. I always wonder how
I
people
also
go
think
about trust and respect and injecting that in their daily lives.
And I also think when it comes to romantic relationships, since it's Valentine's Day, right? When it comes to romantic relationships, I think with trust is knowing how your partner does trust. Also, well, first know how you trust.
Elaborate on that.
But for example, right? Some people, just to make it easy, some people believe that you have to earn your trust. Some people believe that you have trust right off rip until you break that trust,
This
right?
is me.
So knowing where your partner lies on that spectrum, either it's given or it has to be granted. Either way, if you're entering a partnership with somebody who you truly feel is compatible for you, you need to know how you fit on that timeline and what that looks like to somebody. So if you're dating somebody who feels like that trust needs to be earned, okay, so how does that happen? Like, is my trust earned from you by me saying I'm going to be home at 5 o'clock and then I'm home at 5 o'clock?
Right.
And then if something happens, I communicate with you?
I was going to just say, like, learning someone's trauma.
I'm
not saying that in a way of, like, you can learn it to know.
Yeah.
It's not that, like, for me, like, I learned, like, what was it about you talk? What happened poorly to you in the
why
past?
Don't you trust?
Like, why do you have so much distrust and, like, love and, like, that? And
sometimes the other person doesn't even know.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's the crazy part.
That goes back to knowing
yourself.
And you can't love yourself out.
But truly, like, because, and it's not necessarily about knowing so much trauma to try to avoid that or whatever, but, like, for me, like, if I know what other people in your past did that made you feel so unsure about their love for you, I'm making it 100% my decision to not
do that.
Feel like
because you are a selfless, compassionate,
because you're actively acting to maintain that relationship.
Because you are being raw with how you feel, and
if you love somebody, at the end of the day, you should be able to say, "I love you enough to do this. I want to do this." Like,
and that's not to be confused. Now we gotta go back to
Kelly,
we have to go back to toxicity.
Kelly said trust is learned by consistent behavior.
Oh,
T. That's fact.
You show up.
And my uncle said happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Uncle. Happy Valentine's Day, Uncle.
But it's true. You show up, and you show up for people you love, and that's, I think, again, that is it is Valentine's Day, so of course Valentine's Day is centered around like that romantic love. But at the end of the day, when it comes to navigating any personal relationship, like, it all comes down to that. Like, you should trust and respect the people in your corner.
Exactly.
My people in my corner are my no matter what people.
Yeah.
Like, it could be 4 a.m, 6 a.m, but you know what? No matter what, they're showing up.
Yeah, if you can't say that you trust or respect, or actually, I would say trust and respect the people in your circle, then there is a problem within your circle.
Or maybe there's a problem within you. And
within you. No, that's true.
And I'm not being shady, right? Like, maybe there's a problem within you. Like, why are we so afraid?
Acknowledge when you're the villain.
Why are we so afraid to acknowledge that? Like, do you know how much respect I will have for a human if they were like, yo, I was wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
everyone is wrong at some point in time. Like I said, I
said it to a very, 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 very well-known performer 2 days ago, Sunday. Sunday, before my show, Lip Sync Assassins, you can catch us every Sunday.
Yo!
I had a conversation with a...
Like, we're gonna plug it.
I'm gonna plug my shit, bitch. I'm gonna plug my shit.
Sundays at 8 p.m.
Sundays, right. Me and Crystal Phoenix, come find out. So, I had a conversation with an extremely successful performer on Sunday night, and I had to say, my fault, sis, I think I ran into this wrong. And I'm paraphrasing here, but like the conversation that came out of that was so much love. And now, a couple of days later, when I haven't talked to this girl since Sunday, right? Not in a bad way, but I haven't spoken to this girl. Because I haven't spoken to this girl since last Sunday. But when I reflect on the last 72 hours and think about the conversation that I had with her, I can now sit here and tell you all that I have so much more respect and love and admiration for this performer than you could. Because not only did they give me the space to be like, oh, maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. Maybe I was just in my feelings and maybe I needed to communicate before I just flew off the handles. And, they also gave me the space to be like, wow, girl, like, thank you for expressing that. And thank you for knowing what we have between us to know that this was real and I could have come to you and I didn't have to get upset. So, like, going back to, like, that whole toxicity.
Wait, you mean they didn't go on Twitter and just talk shit?
That's what Twitter's for, right?
They were receptive and took a moment to listen.
They were receptive?
And they were a person enough to read through my message and be like, this person's hurt.
Weird.
Weird. So, I just want to say that, like, with that, right, like, you have to be confident in how you feel. Don't be afraid to say I fucked up.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say I'm sorry. But also don't be afraid to say I love you, I care about you, how can this be fixed? And if it's trust, that's an issue, and you just can't trust that person. Know the difference between a person who is not trustworthy and a person who just loves different, and maybe you can't meet their needs and you need to let your ego down.
Hello.
Because if you can't meet that person's needs, that doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. It doesn't mean you suck. It just means that maybe you're not compatible.
You're not compatible.
Just
we got so many keywords today.
Yeah, I also throw that out. So the other thing that I notice a lot, and this is not trying to be offensive. Let me clear that up. But the younger queers, y'all in the like
the young gays,
I'm talking 18 to 25. Like, y'all go on a date with someone, that person then stops returning your text messages, and suddenly it's the end of the world. I'm here to be. It's not.
And then you
it's not.
toxic.
Just because someone doesn't like you does not mean that they are necessarily anti you. That means that you're not
they didn't
compatible.
Yeah, there it goes again.
In a relationship, they're not compatible just because you're attracted to someone on a sexual level, like fun fact, our chemicals do a lot of weird stuff. So, like, you could lust after somebody. That's fine. That doesn't mean it's meant to be a thing. Like, hi, Jerm. Hi, buddy. I miss you. Come to fucking karaoke, bro. Come to fucking karaoke, bro. Where you at?
With that voice?
I'm just like the bouncer.
Where you at? With that voice?
You're
right. He is the bouncer. He is.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like, I think that's a big thing, too, is, like, people take any sign of affection as, like, some sign of commitment.
And think they owe you a fucking ring.
And so we talked about the difference between, like, casual date, whatever, and, like, there's this huge thing with, like, casual dating versus, like, actually dating your dose. Like, you can casually date someone and be casually dating anyone else. Again, that comes back to communication and being open with your partner or partners. About, like,
exactly.
Can we also
and you definitely need to be open and honest about it, for sure.
Can we speak on the other side of the fence from those of us that may be a little toxic?
Absolutely, because I was waiting for you. You said something about toxicity earlier.
And I think for those of us that...
For y'all toxic dudes who think y'all got away with it.
And so, like, right. I honestly feel, and this is on, and I might get red. I might get red for filth for this. But I do feel in my heart that those of us that are toxic maybe don't know we're toxic.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
and
sometimes.
Some of us like it.
And some of us like it.
Some of us like the drama. And some of y'all are so hurt. Some of y'all are so hurt that you literally get off on hurting others, and that's the whole conversation for the other day.
That's a talk for your therapist.
We
do not get paid enough to unpack that.
No, we know or help. It is inconsistent behavior that will not be able to be maintained in your later years. So
yeah.
It is something that you should come to terms with.
Christie, you made me choke on that one.
Christie took Ricky out.
But at the end of the day, really, like, I think that the important, and to be fair, I'm coming from a place where, like, my last serious relationship was probably the most toxic relationship I've ever been in. And I'm talking like slit tires, broken noses, broken windows, violence, aggression, distrust, like everything that could go wrong for that entire period of time was wrong. So then after that, I took 6 years. I think I was like pretty much, and I say pretty much single because like, whatever. We all have things. But those boundaries are communicated. But like 6 years of like figuring out like that person was horrible. Like don't get me wrong. And if Jackie's watching, I know she'll support it. That person was a terrible human being. But that does not mean that I was not also terrible in some of the ways that I handled their terribleness.
And it's funny you talk about Jackie because Jackie is one of my friends who I've related to in a lot of different ways. But Jackie is very public about that one terrible relationship that was very much in the public that people still associate Jackie with to this day. And I think that's another thing that we got to do away with, associating people with.
Like, let those boundaries exist. Once somebody is away from somebody, like, okay, you know what? We know those people were friends. We know that situation was what it was. And I'm not talking about anything specific.
Yeah.
But, like, if you knew somebody, like, let's say you knew somebody in a physically abusive relationship and you saw them 3 weeks later, are you going to say like, "Oh, has he hit you today?"
Right.
Why do we do that
Right.
with emotionally abusive things or emotionally toxic things?
Right.
I can actually speak on this on a
Like,
personal level. I can speak on this on a personal level. Like I feel like this is just the theme of today's episode, right?
Okay, clearly.
I'm
Clearly.
open on this, but I feel like I've spoken about my story, right? So it's not a secret. So I have a friend in our community who was that for me. That came out.
was the person who continued to remind you you're toxic?
No, he did it the right way.
Oh, okay.
He did it the right way. So
Like
we
he
did
tried
the
to help you
opposite.
heal from the
So
toxic.
what he did, so like you have to know, right? Like, so if you know that somebody is in an abusive relationship because your friend felt comfortable enough to open up to you, and probably one of the most scary parts of their life that they don't want to share with anybody, and was like, "Hey, this is what's going on." The next time you see that person saying things like, "Did they hit you today?" That's not helpful.
No, that's not
If
helpful.
you know your friend, you know what your friend needs. Going back to those boundaries and
Like there's a difference knowing to help somebody heal and just reminding them of what's hurting.
Of what
When I was in my most toxic relationship ever, the scariest, most down part of my life, right, for lack of better words, the lowest I've ever been in that relationship. Like, one of my friends knew me enough to know what to do. And so what he did was step in at the right time, right? Because timing is everything. He showed up.
Yes.
And and I'm gonna say it. Thank you, Gil.
Aw,
thank you, Gil.
Oh, we love Gil.
I'm not gonna get emotional. Can we add Gil?
We're not gonna
Somebody tag Gil. Somebody tag Gil.
Just throw a little Gil.
I'm gonna add him because Gil,
if
it wasn't for Gil, I would not only not be at a healthier place in life, but I wouldn't trust the gay community the way I trust the gay community. Because Gil knew exactly what to do, exactly what to say, and exactly how to handle me as a friend. As a friend.
I had to go through that very much with trusting the queer community, because there's a lot of times where it's like, do I not? I don't know. I've been hurt.
But it's literally like figure out how to help. I mean, if you really want to help people who you can see are in a toxic setting, especially when people are vulnerable, because vulnerability is the most terrifying emotion we have. But like, there's definitely a way to help people heal from that or support them in their process. Telling them they're wrong isn't going to help. Telling someone to run isn't going to help.
That's
but
not
like
helpful.
Supporting someone in their decisions and being emotionally there for them as your friends. Because again, you love your friends. So if you're in a friend relationship, you're there and you should show up.
Yes, and no one wants to say like. And can I just say this? Like, stop. Like, okay, it's one thing to know your friend needs to exit a situation. It's one thing to know that your friend deserves better. It's one thing to know your friend deserves better. It's one thing to know that your friend.
I think you're about to say exactly what I was about to say too.
Stop telling your friends to leave their man, leave their woman, leave their partner, leave
partner.
their wife.
We know that we're not.
I promise you, it ain't helping shit, bitch. Like, stop saying that because your friend doesn't need you to tell them what they already know. What your friend needs is a shoulder to cry on.
And for free, we know we need to leave.
What your friend needs is a shoulder to cry on. What your friend needs is somebody to tell them, regardless, I don't judge you.
Kelly, you bring that up at the worst time ever. We're at the end of the episode.
What did Kelly say?
Housing is a huge issue in toxic relationships too. And it is.
Yes.
And it is.
And on that note, my last statement is going to be, if you are going to live with your partner, be sure before y'all move in. I love me and my fiance are totally very different, but we function very well. We know, we have different interests, we have different things, but at the end of the day,
don't move in with somebody.
Don't do it.
Because I promise you don't know a motherfucker. You don't know a motherfucker till you
gotta be dating. I promise you. And again, like we said earlier, you gotta communicate those boundaries right away. Because that's a huge.
Because you're gonna find out real quick.
Even with platonic relationships, I just moved in with a roommate, and I've been living with my mom for 8 years. The first thing I did before we even moved in was I set my boundary with cleaning, because I know I'm so OCD about cleaning, and I know I'm gonna be that person, and I want you to know that I'm that person, so that we are in a good place together, and you're not just like, you're setting me up, or you expect me to do that? No way. No, this is just how I am. I'm gonna let you know so that you know what's going on, and
that I expect to come home to a clean house.
And we'll be much happier together. We'll be much happier together.
But I expect
to come home to
a clean house.
But Jerm said facts. I don't know why people do that. We need more positive advice. So the last thing I'm going to say before we leave, and I'm going to give you guys to promote anything you might have coming up or whatever you want to leave with the viewers. The last thing I want to say, and this is something I always say, and it might be a little bit, a little raw for some, but this is something I've said to a few of my friends. Don't just bring me a dead bird. Bring me a dead bird, a shovel, and a box.
Yeah.
Ooh. I've never heard that.
I love that.
And it's a Hispanic saying. When it sounds,
I'm sure
it sounds very beautiful in Spanish, but in English it's very blunt. But don't just bring me a dead bird. Bring me a box and a shovel.
Yeah. Because if you're gonna bring me your problem, then also bring me what you need.
What are we gonna do with that bird? What's happening? So that's I'm gonna leave that there. You guys can ancient proverb that all you want. Take that with you. But we're at our hour mark, and I gotta get ready for Drag Come With You. That's Houston at 8 p.m.
Period.
So what do you want to leave with our viewers?
Honestly, the only thing I'm going to leave with people, and this comes from years of having the best people in my corner, is like, if you want to show up for someone, make sure you know what they need from you for you to show up, and then do it. Do not
do it.
tell somebody you're no matter what, and then don't be there no matter what.
Yes.
Like, mean what you say what you mean. Like,
don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
don't make promises damn well you can't fucking
that part.
Yeah.
Be honest about your
that part.
All of it.
Don't make promises.
But show up.
Show up. I would like to say, don't be afraid to love and trust regardless of what has happened to you in your life. It's no secret that a lot of us in our queer community have extensive trauma, and I want you to know that.
At the bar.
Listen,
I want to tell you
trauma.
From a person who also has trauma that may or may not be as severe as others. I want to tell you that knowing and acknowledging and addressing it is your freedom. Like, running away from it is not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Like, addressing it head on, headstrong is your freedom. Oh, yes. And that's what I want to say. Like, be authentic, be real, be unapologetically you. Don't let nobody fucking dull your shine. And, If I have anything to plug, I'll plug Lip Sync Assassins every single fucking Sunday. But also, I want to say that, Karaoke Thursdays.
Karaoke Thursdays are such a vibe.
It's such a vibe, right? We got cute little tables.
I love Karaoke Thursdays.
Rage took over, so it's cute now.
I love karaoke.
Yeah. So Karaoke Thursdays with Rage, Lip Sync Assassins with Calypso and Rage.
Love that.
We have brunch at Kin on Sunday.
Oh yes.
At 11 for Black Broadway.
Yes.
Also, I will be at A-List on the last Tuesday of the month, and when I tell you I put my fucking foot in what I'm bringing to you on A-List, I just want to say, please come on A-List.
My mix for tonight for Drag Come With You is hot.
Come on. At SQ? At what time?
At SQ at 8 p.m.
Oh, period.
Y'all are going to see me anywhere because I stay home.
I mixed, I said it with, on my mama.
All right. Okay.
It's yeah.
No, y'all she giving away too much. It's time to move.
Yeah, you gotta come see it. Okay. But anywho's, as usual with Tea with Taylor and the Regs, I want to make sure to remind everyone to be good to yourselves and to look inward before looking outward for all your solutions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this little special get together. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for part of it. Two of my favorite.
I love you so much.
I love you. Two of my favorite people.
Next time we're doing shots, it's gonna get weird.
Next time we're doing shots. As soon as we get
I think it's longer than an hour slot.
No, you know what? I'm thinking about it.
You know what? How about this? You people let Taylor know. What do you want?
You let me know. What do you want? What do you want?
You want to do longer but less frequent? What do you want? You tell Taylor what you need because we're communicating boundaries.
The only reason we're communicating boundaries and wants. Yes.
Unapologetically.
And I trust and respect that you will let your opinions be known.
And I trust and respect that you know you enough to make your deeds known.
This is the
clearly.
All right, we're gonna walk off now and we're gonna get a shot. Thank you guys so much. I'll meet you over by the bar, guys. Good night. Happy Valentine's Day.
And everybody else's.
And Tea with Taylor's new season will be back too. Later.